How pathetic can some people be?
Like, I dated this girl one time. She was like really into like women's issues. So we used to always have these dumbass arguments. So one time she came up to me. She goes, "Okay, explain this to me, Bill. Why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job, huh? I go, "I'll tell you why. Because in the unlikely event that we're both on a Titanic and it starts to sink, for some reason you get to leave with the kids and I have to stay." Yeah, that's why I get the $1 more an hour. Well, think about it. If there's a house fire, it's always women and children first. I got to stand there with like the back of my shirt on fire going, "Let's go, people, let's go, let's go." So that's how I look at it. No, it's $1 an hour surcharge. That if something happens, either I can't leave or I got to like get in the way of it to give you a head start. Like, "Rabid dog, run, honey." You hear a bump in the night. I got to go check it out. Like, "Yes, he does have a knife." Anytime there's a hostage situation, who do they negotiate for first? "Well, at least let the women and children go." Well, what about me? Bullets hurt me too. Why do I got to stay in the vault?
Dumbass of the day. 93.3 KZOZ.
Women have it so bad, right?
Happy hour.
Unless you're...
Ladies' night. Come on. We don't get a guy's night.
Well, we do get happy hour, though.
My wife loves to bring this up. This is a great argument. I'm going to see how she takes it.
Some women are looking to counterbalance the discrepancy of what men make and women make. These are club hotties. There are 2 club hotties in Manhattan. Do you know what you're a watch guy, you maybe know what this, an Audemars Peugeot? I don't know if I'm saying that right.
I think it's a Peugeot.
No, it's not a Peugeot. It's not like the car. It's not spelled like the car. It's a Piguet. Piguet. Audemars Piguet? Piguet?
Well, you don't know. It's probably French, so.
So you don't know what this watch is?
I've heard of it, but no.
Being a watch guy?
I mean, I've heard of the brand, yes.
You know how much one of those?
I've seen it, I should say. I don't know if I've heard.
One of those watches cost?
Oh, the watches are very expensive. Probably $5,000.
$20,000.
$20,000.
Audemars Piguet.
Why, is there diamonds in it or something?
I don't know. I have no idea. These ladies are going to the bar. 2 of them. One's 5'5", 115 pounds. The other one's 5'5", about the same size. They've been caught on surveillance cameras leaving hotels in Manhattan after swiping the watches of 3 rich men. What they'll do is they meet them at the club, and they go to the club, and then they wait for the men to invite them back to the hotel room for an evening, a nightcap, if you will. In one instance, this guy invited him back to his hotel room for a nice evening of sex where she drugged him, waited until he passed out, then took that watch that
$20,000 watch?
I can't pronounce, yes. He was 36 years old. Now, these women are in their early 30s, so that's a good one. The most recent object of prey was a 56-year-old who had his $30,000 Breguet watch, I don't know, stolen. An $8,000 Omega watch. I've heard of Omega. His Louis Vuitton bag and his Mont Blanc pen. You're also a pen guy, too.
No, I'm not.
Man,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, you have, like, your specialized pens. Like, you have a pen.
I'm using a...
Yeah, I know. Right,
5-star Rain Gutters ink pen.
But you have, in the past, had an expensive pen that you use. How did you get that pen?
I don't know what pen you're talking about, honestly.
You used to have a pen that was like, it was like
this pen?
You're like, man, I love the feel of this pen.
I got this pen at Staples. The whole box was $9.99. You got like 20 pens.
I know you have a horrible memory, so I'm just going to chalk that up to the horrible memory.
My dad used to. I probably told you my dad was into pens. He had his name engraved on them. They were cross pens. You would buy them in a kit. They were like $80 or something like that. It would come with a pen and a pencil.
Is the Mont Blanc pen a nice pen?
He also had very nice watches. He had Rolex. He had other watches. He wore jewelry though. He was also that way. He had a chain and all that kind of stuff.
Another guy is a 79-year-old guy. He got swindled out of $70,000 worth of jewelry after meeting one of these chicks at a celebrity hangout last summer. It's a cigar bar called... You're into cigars, too. Man, you're our target for these chicks. Club Macanudo.
The only problem is I don't have that kind of money, so I'm safe.
Would you ever hang out at the Club Macanudo?
Macanudo is a brand of cigars, so yeah, that'd be cool. If they had Macanudos there, that's a good cigar.
Okay. Well, 128-year-old man.
You're missing the point here. This is what's funny about this story is guys drug women to have sex with them. They roofie them, right? Women roofie guys so they can steal.
To think that they're going to have sex with them.
All these articles that I see that you read online, because nobody reads magazines anymore, right? And they say women are hornier than guys and they want it more. I'm calling BS on all of that, because at the end of the day, if that was the case, women would be roofied
all the time. Yes.
Yeah, but even though I guess you don't have to roofie a guy to have sex with you, if they're attracted to you, they want to have sex with you. But they're roofing guys to steal their jewelry.
Yes. And let's face it.
And they've been caught, right?
And what percentage of men wear jewelry? One half of 1%?
Have they been caught?
No, they have not been caught, but they've been caught on surveillance, so they're now...
More than half of 1% wears jewelry, by the way.
Men?
Maybe not in this town.
Men?
Yes. You see men all the time, especially on the East Coast.
I'm not.
They're all into rings and all that, chains and watches. This is a very...
Still, these women have to be target.
Just for a lack of a better term, hippie culture that we live in here. Like, people run and ride their bikes to work. They don't wear jewelry. Everything is, let's not be too excessive.
I doubt anybody is putting the Mont Blanc pen on their radar as a must-have. They'll go with the 5-star rain gutters pen.
It works actually very nice.
Yeah, it's a good pen.
I also have a Halter Ranch Vineyard pin here, but the little clip...
My favorite's the Jeffrey Stolberg attorney at law pin.
Oh, where's that one?
I took them all.
Oh, those are the green ones.
I'm hoarding them.
Those.
I'm hoarding them.
Yeah. So there you go.
Dudes that are and the funny thing is, you got to check your age, man. Okay, you're a 70-year-old man. You got a bunch of jewelry. Don't leave yourself open to a 32-year-old woman who's hot. And she's like, oh, man, you want to go back and have something? Oh, what do you think she's in it for?
Well, this is what you need to do. You need to have some sort of safety deposit type box in your room, the safe. And you need to take off all your jewelry and expensive things and put it in the safe. And as soon as you get there with the girl, and then excuse yourself, and then come back, in your boxers and go with all your wrinkled skin hanging out, old man, and go, all right, honey, I'm ready.
Sounds like you've done this before. You understand the drill.
I've used the safe before, and I have a wife, but...
You understand?
She just laughs.
I'm sure many of these guys had wives, too.
She just laughs. We play little games, too. She just laughs.
Congratulations to the guys that find it necessary to own $20,000, $30,000, $70,000 watches and jewelry.
What are you talking about? If people want to spend their money that way, that's how they spend their money.
How you
giving them dumbass of the day? They didn't do anything wrong.
Because they're watch wearers.
There's nothing wrong with wearing a watch.
It is if it's the price of a Volkswagen, okay? I could get a watch at the store for $9.99. It does this exact same thing as the $20,000 Audemars Piguet luxury watch.
But if you're driving a Bentley, you can own a $20,000 watch because that's the exchange. That's the rate.
Stupid.
The watch thing I'm not going to give you because people should be able to buy watches and wear watches. It's the one way guys can accessorize themselves if they want to. They want to wear a nice watch, wear a nice watch.
How about you just don't accessorize
I like to wear a watch
if you're a guy.
Well, no,
because you're a guy, you don't need to accessorize.
You accessorize yourself every day. You match when you put clothes on so you don't look goofy. You match your shoes to your shirt. I see you do that
that's
stuff.
Nothing. There's nothing.
That's a form of accessorizing.
Okay, I'm not Punky Brewster,
But my point is...
I mean, I'm going to be somewhat presentable when I leave the house.
It's not about the watches.
So if you're okay with guy that wears a watch, then you're okay with guy that wears a fedora too, because he's accessorizing.
Whatever. Yeah, I think that's stupid, but whatever.
Puka shell necklace, you like that guy too, because he's just accessorizing. It's one way he can accessorize.
The pen thing bugs me. All right, if you've got a $250 pen, I mean, I have a friend who's constantly wants to write with a really nice pen.
That's the worst.
This guy loses everything.
Yes, it is the worst way you could spend your money.
The worst investment. Is it an investment? Whatever.
Like,
but you will lose. Like every pen I brought in, like I like these pens. I have one from home. I showed you. It's a TUL with a little accent over the U. These were great writing pens, but every time I bring one to work, they disappear. So after the third time I brought one to work, I said, "Oh no, I'm just going to write with these at home."
Yeah, use the ones that work provide for you, right? Because that's the best move. Because those are free pens.
And guess what? They all write the same. I don't care who you are. A cross pen.
There are some cheap pens.
What did you call it? A Mont Blanc?
If you get like
pen, I can't imagine they really write much better than any other pen.
If you get the brand of the store pen, sometimes they don't make them like if you're going to an office supply store and you get the brand of pens that say their name on them, the generic ones. Sometimes you can notice a difference between those and like Bic pens. Okay. That's why you just go with Bic. Bic is like, all right, it's middle of the road. It's, they do it.
See, for me, and I know it's so funny to talk about pens because how often do we actually use pens anymore, right? But I like a thicker pen because I have a bigger hand. So like these 5-star rain gutters, they've went with a bigger gauge pen. So it's more comfortable to hold versus the, Bic pen that we have over here.
You say you have a big hand?
I have a bigger hand, and I don't have a huge hand. You and I probably have the same size hands. Wouldn't you prefer using a 5-star rain gutters pen because it's thicker in the gauge?
It does.
Versus one of these little Bic pens?
No, to me, a pen is a pen is a pen is a pen.
I grab the Bic pen and it bends in my hand.
The best thing about a pen is if it writes. Like if you grab it and it writes, then I'm rolling with it. I don't even care what kind of pen it is. Thin, medium point, it doesn't matter.
And I'm left-handed too.
As long as it writes.
So I have to use ink that dries instantly. I can't use this wet ink like these pens. The real fine point pens.
Forearm?
The real fine point pens that like sometimes you write and it doesn't finish the letter for you. Do you ever have that problem being a right-handed person? Have you ever used a pen where you're writing and sometimes because the angle isn't right,
because I lead.
The ink will disappear.
I lead with so like it's always trailing. Like being right-handed, the pen always trails in your writing. I can see the problem if you're left-handed because you have to write in a certain fashion and your hand trails the writing.
For the ink, yes. But now I'm moved on from that.
Smudging.
I'm talking about certain pens that write and then it won't write a letter because of the style it is. Like some of these really fine point ones. Which
I've never ran into that problem. It's a left-hander's.
It's a pen thing.
That's the left-hander's plight. I've never even thought of this before.
You've never written with a pen and it doesn't finish writing the word, and you have to go back over it again. And it's not that it ran out of ink; it's just the style of pen that it is. It's those real fine. Okay, never mind.
Oh no, yeah, I know what you're saying. It's just a bad pen. You just got a bad pen. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's not always just a bad pen because other people they prefer to write with these types of pens. It's not the ballpoint; it's the fine point. Anyways. And those pens annoy the hell out of me because you have to go back and rewrite over everything all the time. But some people love those. And I'm like, why isn't the ballpoint?
Why'd you bring left-handed into the conversation? Then?
Because I'm left-handed and I have to, that's an issue for me. With the dragging the hand over the ink.
For you and your clumsy ass left hand that you drag through the ink on your writing.
It's not a clumsy thing. It's just it's a fact.
It's a
if
left-handed
you write
thing.
with your left hand, your hand is always trailing your writing,
right
so
through
the
the
ink will pull right through it unless you cock your hand at a certain angle.
So you got to get a super fast drawing. You know what? I would have used this as an excuse all through my upbringing not to have to write. I hate writing.
Well, this is why I don't write in cursive because if you print, a left-hander can pull their hand down and then write. Under their palm and everything instead of dragging across will now be underneath. So I'm a printer.
So if you answer the question,
I'm a damn good printer.
In a recent poll, 23% said that they mainly write in cursive. When you write, what do you do? 50% are saying print right now, and 50% are saying a mixture of both, which is like the worst way to go.
How do you do a mixture of both? I mean, I don't know. I guess
I've done it before.
If you get writing, you can do that.
I've done it before on accident. Okay, because I'm still of the mindset that whenever you write a check, that it's got to be in cursive. But the problem is here, okay, I don't write enough checks to remember cursive. So I write like one check a month. It's for my rent. And that's it. So I write this check a month. And then it's like, okay, what's... I start writing in cursive and I get to like a point where I forget how to write something in cursive. So then I'll print from that point on. The number, whatever the amount of the check is. So then I do a mixture of both, but then I'll look at the check when I'm done with it. And I'm like, God, this looks like a second grader that's learning cursive wrote this. I'm tearing this check up and I'm writing a new one and I'm printing the whole thing out.
Well, you already don't have the best handwriting. That's just not one of your things. I don't think you focus on it. So, I mean, who
You mean
cares,
my printing? My printing is not good. Handwriting is cursive. Printing is the.
I think handwriting is handwriting. I think cursive is cursive and printing is printing and handwriting is just handwriting.
No, handwriting is cursive.
Okay.
When people speak of one's handwriting, they are talking about how they write in cursive. Maybe I'm wrong on this. I don't know. You're looking at me like I'm crazy. Printing is printing, but printing, it used to be printing was seen as the pre-9-year-old's way of writing. Now
my dad had the best printing.
Now everybody prints.
It looked like it came right off of a machine. Everything was so straight. Every letter was the same size. There was no letters that were bigger than others. It was
Must have been
pretty
that pen.
impressive. It probably was
If
that pen.
you had the proper watch to counterbalance the pen, man, I'm telling you, man, that was proper
But
printing.
here's my question is, who cares? Because everybody doesn't write anymore.
Right.
People, they use the, nobody even actually selected this.
Nothing that is official in my life
I
has
use a
ever been
keyboard.
written. In the last 15 years, I have not written anything that has been official in my life, like a letter or something along those lines. Everything's typed out and signed. Because that way, it cannot be misconstrued.
The only time I use a pen is when I'm taking notes. I'm scratching something down. It's a piece of scratch paper. It's a note. It's one thing.
Do you have to wash your hands afterwards? Or your hand, I
Not
should say?
anymore. I used to because I used to get a big ink stain right there on the pinky knuckle on my left finger. But now that I only print, I'm good to go.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.